Hi, Meirav. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
So I've been reading a lot about Moneta, the VC. Of course, I have some questions about the companies, your focus, the target markets, and everything. But maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself before we dive into the VC, like things you did before, a little bit of a background.
Sure. So I've been a VC all my career, actually. Started very young at the age of 23 by joining Intel Capital, which was probably the first corporate venture fund here in Israel. I will not tell you what year it was because it was a very, very, very long time ago. Spent almost a decade there managing and leading investments, acquisitions, and business development transactions. Then I crossed over the lines to the private equity world and joined a fund by the name of Apex Partners, which is more of a private equity fund, but back then it was more of a tech fund. And after several years there, I moved on and joined a very large family office called Tamares, which is based out of London, and headed a large portion of the tech investments there. So that's my background. In 2014, I met my partner, and we decided to structure our own fund together. And while experiencing with one of the largest banks here, we came to the conclusion that fintech is going to drastically change over the next decade. And we want to be investing in future technologies and not in old food that we chewed in our career a long time ago. So we established Moneta, which is a place where we have two funds that run in parallel. We have a seed fund investing in early stage companies and a later stage fund investing in revenue stage companies. And we invest in those two funds in parallel. The unique thing about us, or maybe it's not that unique, is that a lot of our limited partners are actually LPs in our fund. And they look at us as their eyes and ears to innovation in the space. And we use a lot of their assistance and guidance and due diligence to help us select and promote our portfolio companies. So in many times, we bring the strategic partner of ours to be the initial client of that company, to be the first design partner, the first POC. More in the seed fund, that's where more help is needed. So that's what we do. We're two partners, and we have a team of analysts, associates, and so on who help us run the show.
So you really pick the best after you select and you think about the business opportunity and how you can add them more value. By the way, you can mention some of the companies
Sure.
that are
So
in your portfolio.
I'll do a promotion to our website, monetavc.com. I think some of the names may be recognized from the Israeli scene, T-Pranks, Rewire.
Of course.
We invested in Rails Bank out of the UK. We invested in Insurify out of Boston, in Jasby. So our companies, we both invest in what we call pure fintech players. So this would be either B2C or challengers to the big banks by enabling retailers, for example, like Rails Bank, to provide financial services. And our other area of investment is tech for fin for companies like Panorace that you can find there, Atidot, and others.
Wow, interesting. And so what are the stages that you typically like to enter?
So for the seed fund, we invest in both very very early stage companies, but we can also invest in companies who've already raised their seed fund and are looking for seed extension or kind of like had tried cooking a little bit and see that they need more funds. So that's the place for the seed fund. These would mostly be pre-revenues or very small revenues. For our later stage fund, Moneta Capital, we like to invest in businesses with at least $1 million of ARR.
Mhm. And since I'm already talking with you and you see these companies evolving, what can you tell me about the Israeli fintech scene? Because you're based here, so about the Israeli fintech. What are the angles? What is the benefit that these Israeli fintech has that maybe other markets don't? Or what is the opportunity here?
Yeah, I think two things. First of all, I think Israel has a leading position in data science and AI and deep tech, which could be applied into fintech. I think so. That's the opportunity, the technical know-how. I think the challenge, though, is to really understand the global market and the trends and the regulatory aspects and what is really needed to build a big company. So that's on the one hand. I also think that um, kind of like different from other areas. I think that the Israeli market, while not being very big, there is a lot of money in the Israeli market on the consumer finance. So it's not a very bad place to actually start a business and build a business and then go out and build a similar business in other geographies, just because of the scale that it could get. So for example, if you look at our company Rewire, I don't
I
know if
was
you're
about to ask. Thank you. Really.
yeah, so they started in Tachana Merkazit in South Tel Aviv, and serving really locally here immigrants, and only then transferred to Europe. But still, Israel is a meaningful part of the revenues, and it actually enabled them to gain the trust of their strategic partners in other geographies. So I think it's not always successful. And you could ask yourself, if you are a company that is based in the UK or in the US, if you would target Israel as your first market. Probably not. But since we're here and it's a very easy to access market for locals, and there is COVID all around us prohibiting from flight. So if you're a B2C fintech company, don't ignore the Israeli market.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, by the way, thank you for mentioning Rewire, because there's a lot of people and fintechs that approached me interested in this company. So I'm really happy. I mean, I understand that you invested in Rewire, and like this is like a small world, because yeah, we were targeting and telling the story of Rewire here on the summit, and now you're coming from the other side, and you can tell us, what did you see in Rewire when you decided to take upon this
Yeah, sure.
opportunity?
So first of all, we saw an amazing team, and I think every VC you would speak to would say that. So amazing team is a key factor in being successful. So if you don't have a great team coming out to build a company, wait until you have gathered the right team around you. So that was the first thing that we saw. The way we approach Rewire was actually with one of our partners, Standard Bank, which is the largest bank in Africa. And together with them, we looked at the space, and they identified international remittance as a key area for them. And we looked at 10 different opportunities across the world, by the way, and selected Rewire because of their technology, their unique approach, and also the depth of the management team. And then fast forward 1-2 years later, they were able not only to roll out and grow in the Israeli market, but with the assistance of Standard Bank, also grow out the corridor between Europe and Africa, which is a major revenue stream for them as well. So this, I think, explains a lot about how we work, and also how a company could grow, even if it's based in the Israeli market.
Yes, and by the way, just so you know, I already have one company that really fits the way that you work. I think I can actually introduce you to one of the fintechs here from the summit. And again, I really like your approach in focusing and focus and the way that you work. And I think the meaning, the reason I wanted to have this interview is really to talk about a specific case, about a specific company, and dive into. I mean, from the Rewire story, I think we can learn a lot, and there's still so much to do, in the space. And so much opportunity, now, like worldwide, with open banking and and so many new markets, right?
Yep.
there's so much opportunity here. How can people reach up to you, learn more about the VC and everything that you're doing? What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, look at our website. Also, my LinkedIn profile has my phone number and my email address. So don't be shy. We're always on. Send a WhatsApp message or a deck, or just, don't just call because it's kind of annoying. But we are here, and we are really here for entrepreneurs. And we would love to hear about you guys.
Great. So yeah, this is an online fintech week focusing in Israeli companies, but we have other companies and banks and fintechs from all around the world, and payments and in open banking and in just name it. This is like a whole week of a celebration, and I encourage people to go to your website and get connected to you, because that's not only a summit when you're hearing the talks, you're also being able to be matched, and we basically approach and get on a one-on-one call during the week or after the week. Again, I really like what you and your team are doing. I think you have a really good focused approach, and I'm happy to collaborate even after the summit.
Same here. Thank you, Nir, for the opportunity, and good luck with FinTech Week. And guys, just feel free to reach out. We wear jeans and sneakers to work, so nothing formal.
Great, great. Thank you, Meirav, and by the way, the whole team over there, and we'll be in touch.
Definitely. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.